Earth, Emma Johnson said during introductions, and the entire lecture hall of the Galactic Academy exploded into laughter. She stood at the front of the amphitheater, 300 alien cadets from 47 species filling the tiered seats, and every single one of them was laughing at her. Not polite chuckling, full-throated, gasping, can't-breathe laughter. "A Deathworlder," Zara called out from the third row, her crystalline form refracting the light as she shook with amusement. "Oh, this is rich! Next you'll tell us you wrestled a Kravaxian dreadnought!" The laughter intensified. Someone in the back started a slow clap. Emma just stood there, hands in her jacket pockets, waiting. Instructor Kael'thas, a Vexthul who'd survived 40 campaigns and had the scars to prove it, cleared his throat from his position beside the podium. "Cadets, that's enough." According to YouTube analytics, 98% of viewers are not subscribed. That's a huge number. By subscribing the channel that is completely free— "Sir, with respect," Zara interrupted, still giggling, "we all know Deathworld classifications are exaggerated. Survey propaganda to make exploration sound dangerous. Earth's what, class 7? Maybe 8? I've seen the orbital data. Primitive civilization, simple fauna, moderate gravity. The only thing dangerous about it is dying of boredom." More laughter. A Ryloth cadet actually fell out of his seat. Emma pulled her hands from her pockets. Slowly, deliberately, she shrugged off her academy jacket and let it drop to the floor. Underneath, she wore a standard-issue tank top. Her left arm was completely bare. The laughter died in segments, like lights going out across a city during a power failure. Running from her shoulder to her wrist were 4 parallel scars. Not clean surgical lines. Ragged, uneven tears that had healed white and raised against her tan skin. The marks were deep enough that even from the back row they were clearly visible. They looked like something had tried to peel her arm off. Kael'thas, veteran of 40 campaigns, destroyer of the Cygnus Rebellion, holder of the Stellar Cross for valor, took an involuntary step backward. The silence was absolute. "You want to know what gave me this?" Emma asked conversationally, her voice carrying easily in the sudden quiet. She held up her scarred arm, rotating it so everyone could see the full extent of the damage. The marks went deep, tracking through what should have been muscle and tendon. "Anyone want to guess?" Zara's crystalline structure had stopped refracting light. She'd gone completely still. What weapon was used? Plasma rake? Molecular knife?" "Weapon?" Emma laughed. Actually laughed. "Oh, that's cute. No weapon." She traced one of the scars with her right index finger. "This was my neighbor's cat, Mr. Whiskers. I was 12 trying to give him his medication, and he really didn't want to take it." The silence somehow deepened. Emma could hear the environmental systems humming. "I'm sorry," Kael'thas said, and his voice had dropped to the tone he used for combat briefings. "Your domestic animal did
This? Well, yeah, he was 19 pounds, which is big for a house cat, but not like record-breaking or anything. Caught me good, though." Emma smiled at the memory. "Needed 73 stitches. Mom was so pissed that I'd tried to medicate him by myself. Dad thought it was hilarious once we got back from the hospital." 73 stitches, a small voice repeated from somewhere in the middle rows. From a domestic companion animal. "Mr. Whiskers wasn't really a companion," Emma clarified. "More of a furry dictator who lived in our house and occasionally tolerated being fed. But yeah, cats have claws. That's kind of their thing." She noticed the looks she was getting, 300 faces expressing variations of horror and disbelief. "Wait, you guys don't have cats in the rest of the galaxy?" "We have predators," Zara said slowly, her voice completely different now, small, uncertain. "But we don't keep them in our homes. We don't let our children near them." "Oh!" Emma picked up her jacket, suddenly feeling like she'd said something wrong. "Well, I mean, Mr. Whiskers wasn't actually dangerous or anything. He was just grumpy that day. Usually he only scratched a little bit." Kael'thas made a sound that might have been a laugh or might have been a suppressed scream. "Only scratched. A little bit. Cadet Johnson, that scar suggests damage to your brachioradialis, your flexor digitorum, possibly your radial nerve. Yeah, I couldn't really use my hand properly for like 3 months, Emma agreed. Physical therapy was annoying, but I was fine by summer, so it worked out. The instructor's facial plates had gone pale, which Emma was learning meant shock in Vexthol species. You speak of permanent nerve damage with the same tone others use to discuss weather patterns. Emma shrugged her jacket back on. I mean, it healed. That's what bodies do. She looked around at the silent amphitheater, finally realizing something was very wrong. Should I not have mentioned the cat thing? I can talk about something else if— No, Kael'thas interrupted. His hand had moved to his communicator. No, Cadet Johnson. I think perhaps we need to discuss Earth's classification in greater detail. All of you, remain seated. His eyes, all four of them, fixed on Emma with an expression she couldn't quite read. Cadet, exactly how many of these incidents have you experienced in your lifetime? Emma thought about it, like requiring medical attention or just stuff that left scars. The sound Kael'thas made definitely wasn't a laugh this time. Both, Kael'thas said flatly. Tell me both numbers. Emma scratched her head, genuinely trying to remember. Okay, so medical attention, probably 20, 25. I was kind of accident-prone as a kid, and scars, let's see. She started counting on her fingers. Well, there's this one, the cat. Then there's my knee from the bike accident, my chin from the tree, my back from the camping. Trip, both elbows from skateboarding. Stop. Zara had pulled out her data pad, her crystalline fingers moving frantically across the screen. Just stop for a moment. Let me look something up. She tapped furiously, her earlier mockery completely evaporated. Earth Fauna Database, Felis catus, common designation, house cat. She went very still. This can't be right. What did you find? Another cadet asked. Zara's voice shook slightly. Bite force of 75 psi, retractable claws measuring 10-15 millimeters, reaction time of 20-70 milliseconds, capable of jumping 5 times their own height, classification. She looked up at Emma with something approaching horror. Classification, apex predator, Category 4. The amphitheater erupted in disbelief. That's impossible, someone shouted. Category 4 predators are military-grade threats. My family's guard beast is only Category 3, another voice added. Kael'thas had pulled up his own interface, his facial plates shifting through colors Emma was learning meant rapid emotional processing. She's right, and it gets worse. Canis lupus familiaris, dog, Category 5 predator, pack hunter, bite force up to 450 psi in some breeds. He looked at Emma. You have these in your homes as well? Well, yeah, we had a golden retriever named Buddy. Emma smiled. He was the sweetest thing. Loved belly rubs. Cadet Johnson, Kael'thas said slowly. According to this database, a golden retriever has a jaw strength capable of crushing most sentient species' primary skeletal structures. Emma's smile faded. Wait, you're telling me Buddy could have, but he just wanted to play fetch and steal food off the counter. Domestication, Zara whispered, reading from her pad. Earth species designation notes, humans have successfully domesticated and cohabitate with multiple apex predator species. How is that even possible? We raise them, Emma offered, confused by the question. Like, for thousands of years. They're just animals. Our animals. Kael'thas was scrolling rapidly through his interface now, and his color was doing something Emma had never seen, a rapid pulse between pale and dark that suggested system overload. Rattlesnakes, black widows, Portuguese man-o'-war, box jellyfish, crocodiles, bears, sharks. He looked up. Cadet Johnson, Earth's harmless wildlife database, lists over 200 species classified as Category 3 or higher predators. Your oceans alone contain 47 species that could kill most galactic citizens on contact. Oh, well, you don't touch those, Emma said. That's just common sense.
The fact that you have to teach children which animals will kill them, Zara started, then stopped. Oh no, you said other injuries. You said broken bones. Plural. Right, yeah, Emma held up her right hand. Broke this pinky playing volleyball in 8th grade. Broke my collarbone falling out of the oak tree in our backyard. That was pretty bad, actually. I was out for, like, 6 weeks. Fractured my ankle skateboarding. Oh, and I broke a rib when I fell off a horse at summer camp. The door at the back of the amphitheater slammed open. Medical Officer Jotaro rushed in, his 6 limbs carrying him down the stairs at speed. I received an emergency alert that a Deathworlder was injured. He stopped, scanning the room. Where's the casualty? No casualty, Doctor, Kael'thas said. But I need you to perform a full body scan on Cadet Johnson, standard medical baseline. Jotaro pulled out his medical scanner, approaching Emma cautiously. This will take just a moment. Please remain still. The device hummed as it passed over her body, projecting a holographic display that everyone in the room could see. Emma watched, mildly interested, as her skeletal structure appeared in blue light. Jotaro went completely still. This can't be accurate. Scanner malfunction. Must be. He adjusted the device, scanned again. The same image appeared. What's wrong? Emma asked. What's wrong? Jotaro's voice rose to a pitch Emma hadn't thought his species could produce. You have 23 separate healed fracture sites. Your left femur shows evidence of a complete break. Both radii have stress fractures. Your ribs, 3 of them show previous damage. Your right tibia has a healed spiral fracture. There's evidence of torn ligaments in both knees, scar tissue throughout your muscular system, and your liver shows signs of having processed toxin levels that should have been fatal. Oh, the liver thing was probably from that time I ate bad shellfish, Emma said helpfully. Food poisoning. Really sucked for like a day, but I was fine after. Jotaro's medical scanner clattered to the floor. He didn't pick it up. A day? You processed fatal toxin levels in a day. Well, I threw up a lot. This survival rate is statistically impossible, Jotaro interrupted, his voice barely a whisper. Your medical history alone represents 17 separate incidents that should have resulted in death or permanent disability. You're describing them as childhood inconveniences. Emma looked around at 300 faces staring at her with expressions ranging from horror to disbelief. Okay, I'm getting the feeling that maybe Earth is more different than I thought. Different, Kael'thas repeated. His hand was still on his communicator. Cadet Johnson, when you fell out of the tree, how high were you? I don't know, like 30 feet. It was a big oak. 30 feet is terminal velocity for most species. It hurt. I told you, broken collarbone really knocked the wind out of me. You survived, Zara said, and she was openly trembling now. You fell from killing height, and you describe it as, it hurt. The broken collarbone was the worst part, honestly. Couldn't play sports for... Sports! Jotaro's voice cracked. You engage in recreational physical combat after surviving multiple near-death experiences? Emma was starting to feel defensive. Look, I wasn't that bad. My brother broke way more bones than me. He played football, did motocross, got into rock climbing. There are more of you, Kael'thas said faintly, with worse injury histories. Who survived? Well, yeah. He's actually here at the academy, too. Michael Rodriguez, he's in the engineering track. Every datapad in the room activated simultaneously as 300 cadets frantically searched for human cadet files. Oh gods, someone whispered from the back. There are 47 humans enrolled. 47 Deathworlders, another voice corrected. Emma raised her hand tentatively. So, are we still doing introductions, or... Kael'thas touched his communicator. Commandant Zelax? We have a situation. Commandant Zelax arrived in under 10 minutes, which was apparently a station record. The amphitheater doors opened to admit a being that made even Kael'thas look small. 8 feet of armored carapace, compound eyes that missed nothing, and an air of authority that silenced the nervous murmuring instantly. Instructor Kael'thas, your emergency signal indicated. Zilak stopped, his sensors fixing on Emma. A human. You called a code 7 because of a single human cadet. Sir, with respect, I called a code 7 because of what we've just discovered about humans. Kael'thas gestured to Jotaro. Doctor, show him the scan. The holographic display reappeared, Emma's skeletal history floating in blue light above the podium. Zilax moved closer, his compound eyes processing the data. The color of his carapace shifted slightly, a sign Emma was learning meant concern. 23 healed fractures, Jotaro said quietly. Multiple toxin exposures, tissue damage consistent with encounters with Category 4 and 5 predators. All sustained before the age of 22. All survived. I see. Zilax's mandibles clicked together in a pattern Emma couldn't interpret. Cadet Johnson, I'm looking at your application file. You listed Earth's classification as Class 7 Deathworld. That's what the survey data said, sir. Pull up the original Earth survey, Zilax ordered. Kael'thas complied, projecting the file onto the main screen. Emma read along with everyone else, seeing her planet's assessment for the first time through alien eyes. Earth, Survey Report, 2247, Classification, Class 7 Deathworld Survey, Method, Orbital Scan, Only, Landing Not Recommended, Primitive Civilization, Present Fauna, Assessment, Simple Predator-Prey Ecosystem, Moderate Threat Level. Recommendation, Monitor from Distance. Civilization shows signs of spaceflight capability within 200 cycles. Orbital Scan Only, Zara read aloud. They never actually landed. They classified your entire planet from orbit. Well, that explains a lot, Emma muttered. Explains what, Cadet? Zilax asked sharply. Emma gestured to the survey data. They saw simple fauna because they were looking at everything that's left. They didn't see all the stuff we already killed off. She shrugged. I mean, humans have been apex predators on Earth for like 200,000 years. We hunted megafauna to extinction, domesticated wolves, survived ice ages, outlasted everything else that tried to compete with us. By the time you guys looked, we'd already won. The silence that followed was profound. Won, Kael'thas repeated. You didn't survive your death world, you conquered it. I mean, I wouldn't say conquered exactly. You domesticated apex predators, Jotaro interrupted, his voice rising. You turned Category 5 threats into companions. You eliminated competing predator species. You adapted your environment to suit your needs rather than adapting to your environment. That's not survival, that's dominance. Zilax's carapace had gone completely dark. How many humans are currently enrolled in this academy? 47, sir, Kael'thas answered. I want them all here. Now. Before we proceed with any training protocols, I need to understand what we're actually dealing with. 20 minutes later, the amphitheater held 47 confused humans and over 300 terrified alien cadets. Emma stood with her fellow humans at the front, trying to understand why everyone was looking at them like they were ticking bombs. We're going to try something, Zilax announced. Humans, I want each of you to share one injury you've sustained and survived. Something you would consider routine. The humans exchanged glances. Michael Rodriguez raised his hand. I got hit by lightning when I was 16. The amphitheater erupted. Zilax raised a limb for silence. Continue, Cadet Rodriguez. I was playing golf. That's a recreational activity. And I got struck during a storm. Stopped my heart for like 2 minutes. Paramedics restarted it. I spent a week in the hospital, and now I have this cool scar pattern across my back. He pulled up his shirt to show the Lichtenberg figure branching across his skin. Doctors said I was really lucky. Lucky, someone whispered. He calls surviving a direct lightning strike lucky. Sarah Jackson spoke up next. I got bitten by a brown recluse spider when I was 10. That's a venomous spider from Earth. Made me feel pretty sick for a few days. Had to take some antibiotics for the infection, but it wasn't a big deal. Jotaro was checking his datapad frantically. Brown recluse venom contains sphingomyelinase D, which causes necrotic lesions and systemic toxicity. The LD50 for most species is, you felt sick. Yeah, like flu sick. My mom kept me home from school for a week. Patricia Anderson jumped in, grinning. Oh, I've got a good one. Car accident on the highway. That's a high-speed ground transport route. Vehicle was totaled, rolled 3 times. I wasn't wearing my seatbelt properly. Walked away with a concussion and some bruised ribs. High-speed impact, Kael'thas said slowly, his datapad showing calculations. Vehicle destruction indicates forces exceeding 60 Gs. You walked away. Well, I limped a bit. Stop! Zara stood abruptly, her crystalline form shaking. Just stop, please! She turned to Emma, and there were actual tears forming in her multifaceted eyes. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I laughed at you. I mocked your world. I didn't understand. None of us understood. It's okay, Emma started. It's not okay, Zara's voice cracked. You survived things that would kill me instantly, and you talk about them like they're nothing. Your entire species survived on a planet that actively tried to murder you every single day, and you didn't just survive, you won. You turned your predators into pets. You made your world kneel to you. She looked around at the other cadets. We're from garden worlds, safe worlds. We've never had to fight for our lives against our own planet. Kael'thas was staring at his datapad, scrolling through training protocols. Our combat training, he said faintly. Our physical fitness standards, our survival courses, they're all designed for species that evolved in safe environments. He looked up at Zilax. Sir, we don't have protocols for this. Every safety standard, every physical limit, every medical baseline we use, they're all irrelevant for humans. I'm aware, instructor. Zilax's voice was grim. We've been training apex predators using protocols designed for prey species. Emma raised her hand hesitantly. So, what does this mean for us? Zilax's compound eyes fixed on her. It means, Cadet Johnson, that we need to completely restructure how we handle human cadets. Because right now, our entire academy system is based on assumptions that your species just proved catastrophically wrong. A Ryloth cadet in the back spoke up, voice shaking. Commandant, if humans can survive all of this, what happens when we're on the battlefield together? What happens when they're not holding back? The question hung in the air, unanswered. Emma looked at her fellow humans, all of them just as confused as she was, and realized something that made her stomach drop. The aliens weren't just scared of Earth anymore. They were scared of them. Emma took a deep breath, looking at 300 terrified faces staring back at her. Okay, look, I think we need to actually talk about Earth because clearly the survey data was garbage. Zilax nodded slowly. Please, Cadet Johnson, help us understand. Right, so first, gravity. Emma gestured to her legs. Earth's gravity is about 1.3 times what you guys consider standard. We don't really notice because we grew up with it, but it means our bone density is way higher than yours. Our muscle mass is denser. We're basically walking around in what you'd consider a high-gravity environment all the time. She paused. That's probably why your physical fitness standards seemed really easy to us. Michael added, Yeah, I thought the academy gym was set to recovery mode or something. Jotaro was typing frantically. That explains the fracture healing rate. The bone density would allow for faster calcification, stronger regeneration. Then there's oxygen, Emma continued. Earth's atmosphere is about 21% oxygen. I checked the station standard when I arrived. You guys run at 16%. We're literally getting more fuel for our cells with every breath. That's why we seem energetic all the time. We're not hyper. This is just normal for us. You're naturally oxygenated beyond standard levels, Kael'thas said, understanding dawning in his eyes. Your endurance ratings in physical training. Yeah, we can just keep going. Sarah Jackson grinned. Humans are persistence hunters. Back on Earth, we used to hunt prey by just following it. For hours, days sometimes. We'd just walk after it until it collapsed from exhaustion, and then we'd kill it. Our ancestors literally walked animals to death. The horror in the room intensified. We're pursuit predators, Emma explained. We have forward-facing eyes for tracking. We can regulate our body temperature through sweating so we don't overheat. We can maintain steady breathing while running. Most Earth predators are ambush hunters. They sprint, and if they don't catch their prey immediately, they give up. Humans don't give up. We just keep coming. That's horrifying, Zara whispered. It gets worse, Patricia said cheerfully. Our pain tolerance. Emma's cat story, that level of injury would incapacitate most species, right? For us, it's just, well, that sucks. Guess I need stitches. We evolved on a planet where everything was constantly trying to kill us, so our nervous systems adapted. We can function through injuries that would send other species into shock. Jotaro was shaking his head in disbelief. Your pain threshold is survival adaptation. Your species learned to ignore distress signals that would save other species' lives because stopping meant death. Basically, yeah, Emma agreed. And then there's our immune systems. Earth has bacteria, viruses, parasites, fungi. We're constantly under attack from microscopic organisms. Our immune systems are like permanently at war. That's why Sarah survived the spider venom. Her body was like, oh, more poison. Sure, add it to the list. The pathogen warfare explains the liver function, Jotaro muttered. Constant toxin processing. Your organs are adapted for combat-level filtration. There's also the psychological component, Michael said quietly. Generational trauma is kind of built into human DNA at this point. Our ancestors watched their families get eaten by predators, starve during famines, die from diseases. We inherit that resilience. When something goes wrong, we don't freeze, we problem solve. Because freezing meant death for thousands of generations. Zilax was silent for a long moment. Finally, he spoke. Instructor Kael'thas, effective immediately, all human cadets are to be reassessed. Physical training standards will be adjusted to account for high-gravity adaptation and elevated oxygen processing. Medical protocols will be updated for Deathworld physiology. Yes, sir, Kael'thas was already typing. I recommend moving all human cadets to advanced combat training immediately. Our standard courses are clearly inadequate. Agreed. Dr. Jotaro, you'll need to upgrade medical facilities with equipment capable of treating injuries that would be fatal to other species. Human resilience means they may continue functioning with damage we can't currently assess. I'll requisition the necessary equipment immediately, Commandant. Zilax turned to Emma. Cadet Johnson, I'm appointing you as Human Liaison Officer for the Academy, effective immediately. You'll work with administration to develop appropriate protocols for your species. We need someone who understands both human capabilities and our institutional limitations. Emma blinked. Sir, I'm just a geology major. You're a Deathworlder who survived a Category 4 predator attack at age 12 and considered it a normal childhood experience, Zilax interrupted. You're exactly who we need. Zara stood up, her crystalline form catching the light. Cadet Johnson, I'd like to request you as my partner for field training. If you'll have me, after how I treated you, I'd understand if... Of course, Emma said immediately, smiling. I mean, you didn't know. None of you knew. And honestly, I didn't really know either until today. She looked around at her fellow humans, all of them looking equally bewildered. We just thought everyone was like us. That's perhaps the most terrifying thing you've said yet, Kael'thas muttered. Instructor Kael'thas raises a valid point, Zilax said. Humans don't see themselves as exceptional. You view your capabilities as baseline normal, which means you have no psychological barriers limiting your performance. He paused. It also means you genuinely don't understand how dangerous you are. Michael laughed. I mean, we're not dangerous. We're just people? The entire room full of aliens stared at him. Yeah, Sarah added. We're really not that scary once you get to know us. Jotaro made a sound that might have been a laugh or a sob. You survived lightning strikes, venomous bites, and high-speed impacts, and you still think you're not scary. Emma shrugged. I mean, compared to some of the stuff on Earth, we're pretty tame. There are things on Earth more dangerous than you? Zara asked in a very small voice. Well, yeah. Hippos kill way more people annually than most predators, and mosquitoes— Please stop, Zilax interrupted. I don't think my command structure can handle any more revelations about Earth today. Emma glanced at her datapad, checking the time. Cool, so when's lunch? I'm starving. She looked at the other humans. Anyone else want to hit the cafeteria? I heard they have something called stellar fruit today. The humans began filing out, chatting amongst themselves about food and afternoon classes, completely oblivious to the stunned silence they left behind. Zara watched them go, her crystalline form trembling slightly. They just moved on, like this was a normal orientation. For them, it probably was, Kael'thas said quietly, updating his datapad with new training protocols. Military assessment databases across his screen flashed with revised threat ratings. At the doorway, Emma paused and called back to Zara. Hey, you coming? Can't train together on an empty stomach. Then, laughing to Sarah, though honestly, I'm not even that tough compared to my mom. She once broke up a dogfight with her bare hands and didn't even miss her morning jog. The humans' laughter echoed down the corridor as they disappeared. Zilax stood alone at the podium composing his official report. His mandibles clicked as he typed, Urgent, Earth reclassification. Required recommendation, Apex class survivor species. Threat assessment, extreme notes. Humans do not recognize their own danger level, proceed with diplomatic caution. They view themselves as normal. The lecture hall remained silent long after the humans left. 300 alien cadets sat motionless, staring at the updated classification now displayed on the main screen. Earth, revised assessment. Classification, Class 12 Deathworld status, Apex Predator, Homeworld. Dominant species, human, Homo sapiens. Approach. Protocol, extreme caution. Warning, inhabitants consider their survival capabilities normal. Do not challenge their worldview. Zara finally stood, her legs unsteady. I mocked a human, she whispered. I actually laughed at an apex predator from a Class 12 death world. And she forgave you, Kael'thas said, his voice distant. Immediately, without hesitation. He looked at his fellow instructor. That might be the most terrifying thing of all. They're that dangerous, and they choose to be kind. In the cafeteria, Emma bit into her stellar fruit and grinned. This is actually pretty good. Michael nodded, mouth full. Way better than that cat food Mr. Whiskers used to eat. The nearby alien students hastily moved to different tables.